Good morning, Carolina from State Adventures here. Let's discuss this trip to Peru and Argentina. I'm going to share my screen. You'll be able to see the itinerary and follow along with me. This trip is planned for January of next year. Remember, you can change the dates, so just let me know. Do these dates work? Do you want to pick another week? By all means, this is your trip, so we can tweak it around your needs. And it is priced based on two people traveling together. I will also price the same trip based on four people, so you have both options if you want to have some friends or family join you. So the trip will start in Peru. You take your international flight to Lima. It's the main airport. And once you land, you will see a State Adventure sign, our English speaking guide, and the team will pick you up. Private car will take you to the hotel. So we discussed pricing the trip around four-star hotels, local flavor hotels. So in Lima, I chose the Iberostar Selection Miraflores Hotel. This is really a great little hotel, brand new, that is right on the ocean, great views of Miraflores. You can walk to the Lovers Park, you can walk to Larcomar. There's so much to see and do in this area, and it has great amenities and a great rooftop, as you see here. Perfect place to unwind after your travels. And then the following morning, because you're most likely going to arrive in the evening, following morning, breakfast will be at the hotel. So under the day, you will see a BL or a BLD. Those are the meals already included in your trip. So if there's a meal that's not included, it's on purpose, because most likely I see that you're going to be in a city filled with wonderful options. I don't want to prearrange all the meals for you, because then you're kind of stuck to that set menu. If there are many options, I leave it up to you, or our guides has great recommendations for you. And then if you're in the middle of nowhere in a remote area, then I like to include all the meals, and that way you don't have to worry about them. So on January 12th, we're going to see the best of Lima. And the way that we do it is that not only will you see the highlights like the main square and the cathedral and the museum, but you will also do a tasting tour of Lima. So you're going to have snacks at the ruins and, pisco sours on the ocean and things like that. Really wonderful experience that combines the day and the night in Lima and all the highlights, as well as off the beaten path places. You'll even head into a market where locals shop. It's a really great day. Once we're done with Lima, day 3, we're going to take you to the airport and we're going to fly to Cuzco. This is your first interaction with high altitude. So what we do is we take you to Sacred Valley. It's about an hour away, but it drops down to 2,000 feet. So it really helps acclimate and adjust and breathe easier. And on the way, we like to visit places that don't require a lot of strenuous activity, because we're trying to have you acclimate easier. Please know that all of our guides and drivers always have altitude sickness medicine like coca tea, which is a local herb. They also have oxygen tanks in case someone is really feeling unwell. A lot of the hotels will pump oxygen into the room. So if you are unsure about the altitude, let's discuss, and I will show you exactly what we do to make sure you are comfortable and feeling well. We have a medic in Peru 24/7 on call, so that if someone needs a boost or their tummy's not feeling well, the doctor comes to the room and gives you medicine. You never have to go to a clinic. So please know we take care of you from start to finish. These little details matter. They might not be written out on the itinerary, but they are there. And that is what makes us experts in the region for the last 18 years. So once you arrive in Cusco, we take you to Sacred Valley with our Sacred Valley team. We visit Maras, Moray, and Chinchero. So Maras and Moray are these Inca laboratory salt mines that are currently still worked by the local community. And Chinchero is a great, colorful little community, mainly of women who have pulled their, village out of poverty using their weavings and classes and showing how they dye their materials with local fruit and local flowers. So it's so interesting. You get a glimpse into the life of the Andes, have a beautiful farm to table lunch at Iskay Maras. This is a restaurant that's kind of looks like a speakeasy. It's just in the middle of nowhere. You knock on the door with our guide, and a wonderful chef, Tatiana, invites you to her home to try a beautiful lunch that's fully cooked from her garden. Great experience, great welcome to the Sacred Valley, something that definitely is off the beaten path. And then you will check into your hotel for the next 2 nights, and that's the Inca Terra Hacienda Urubamba. This is a 5-star hotel, and I know that we discussed 4-star hotels, but I have been working with the Inca Terra properties for the last 18 years. We get really good rates here, so I highly suggest we keep it. There are many other 4-star hotels, so if you want to downgrade, we can, but let's try to keep this in here because I want you to unwind in this magnificent location that Inca Terra is located, and they have a wonderful dinner included as well. The next day, we're going to focus on A, acclimation, and B, seeing the best of Sacred Valley. So we're going to visit Misminay, which is a very remote community that we here at State Adventures sponsor. It's completely up the beaten path. They live just like they have for many, many years, for many generations, and they will invite you in. And one of the families, there are 63 families living there, will invite you to their home. You're going to have a meal together. You're going to learn about the Pachamanca ceremony. You're going to go visit their farms, visit their shaman, have a beautiful blessing. It's a great, great day in the Andes. The views are stunning. And then we will visit Ollantaytambo, which is a really famous location in the Sacred Valley. So this is the community in Misminay, and they're making a Pachamanca ceremony. And here is part of the Ollantaytambo village, which is a thriving village, but they are surrounded by Inca sites and ruins. So a great place to start walking around, feeling how, how the altitude is affecting you, getting comfortable. We're going to have lunch, of course, in the Sacred Valley and take you back to the hotel where you will have dinner. And now day 5, we are ready for Machu Picchu. So we're going to take you to the train station. We're going to ride the Vistadome train. That's the one that with the glass dome ceiling, and take you all the way to Aguascalientes, which is the village of Machu Picchu. The village is at the bottom of the mountain and the ruins are on top. Once you arrive in the village, we have our guides and porters meet you so that they can take your bags and take them to the hotel, because about 500 people are getting off the train. It is chaotic. There's a lot of things going on. Everyone's trying to find their way, but we don't. You are taking directly into the ruins so that you don't have to worry about checking into your hotel, worrying about your bags. We go right to the ruins. Our porters take your bags to the hotel. It's very smooth, very easy. We do this every day. And that is something that's a little bit different. If you were to arrive by that train on your own or with a less organized itinerary, you would first need to, figure out, what am I going to do with my overnight bag? Where's my hotel? How do I get to the ruins? We take all of that away from you. We take all those logistics and prearrange them ahead of time so that it's easy. You go up to the ruins, you have your first tour. This is a highlight of Peru. You definitely don't want to just visit one time. So what we do is we have that tour, we have lunch, bring you back to the village, spend the night at an Inca Terra property, which is their 3-star option in Machu Picchu. And then the next morning, after everyone has left on the evening train, we actually go back to the ruins and visit in the morning. So you have an afternoon visit and a morning visit. This is key because Machu Picchu is at the mouth of the Amazon. It's like a cloud forest. It rains pretty much every day because it's so humid up there, but sometimes it's covered in clouds. Sometimes it has rainbows. Sometimes the lighting is spectacular. So it's really good to visit twice, and that way you get the experience and photography and all the opportunities up there. Now, that morning when we go up on day 6, you can also climb some mountains. So these are the ruins of Machu Picchu. Where we are standing and taking this photo from is Machu Picchu Mountain, which can be climbed. This one in the background is Huayna Picchu, is quite famous. That's where a lot of people want to climb up. I just did this hike last week. It's very strenuous, so I don't recommend it if you are not a regular hiker. And then there's Uchu Picchu. We have added this hike maybe just 2 years ago. It is a much easier, short hike, maybe 20 minutes to the top, and you have spectacular views of the ruins. So that's a fun little addition. There's also a hike to the Sun Gate, which is the entry to the Inca Trail. So there's a lot of opportunities here, which we can discuss on what we want to do on day 2 in Machu Picchu. By your guide, your permits, your shuttle, everything is arranged and included. So all we have to do is figure out what do you want to do that day. Now, afterwards, we will have lunch at the Sanctuary Lodge, which is that hotel we discussed at the top of the mountain at the gate of the ruins. They do a beautiful buffet lunch, so we will do that there. Then go back to town, have some free time. You can go to the market and then board the Vistadome train back to Cuzco. That's about a 2-hour and 20-minute train ride, and you will be in the hotel in Cuzco. I chose the Casa Andina Premium. Casa Andina is a Peruvian chain of hotels. They have about 8 properties throughout the country. Really wonderful because they take local older buildings and redo them into hotels. So this used to be an old mansion and now it is a property. I've actually stayed here myself a few years ago. Really great location. You can walk to the square. They have a great bar, great restaurant. So it's a solid 4-star choice. Now, day 7, in the morning, we have nothing. Why? Because it's going to be the first morning where you can sleep in, you can rest, and your guide will meet you in the afternoon, probably around 12, I would suggest, so that you can see the highlights of the city. You can go up to the ruins of Cuzco. It is a spectacular city. The views are beautiful. It's a perfectly safe, walking, cobblestone-filled town. It's at high altitude, but now you've been acclimating for 4 days, so you're feeling great. So we do a tour of the city, tour of the ruins, and then right after we do a little cocktail tour or mocktail tour or tasting tour. So whatever it is that you like or enjoy. If you don't drink alcohol, we will adjust to you. But that way you visit 3 different restaurants. You get to walk around like a local. You get to meet local chefs and bartenders. It's such a great tour. Everyone really enjoys it. And you go to parts of Cusco that usually just locals go to, or maybe it's a little bit further from the main square, so less tourists will visit. But it's a great experience. So that is your Cusco day. And then the following day, because we discussed the Palccoyo Mountains, the Rainbow Valleys, we've included a private day excursion to Palccoyo. So this is what Palccoyo looks like. Instead of hiking for a good hour, an hour and a half to Vinicunca, which is that famous Rainbow Mountain, and then climbing up in snow and sleet and whatever could be happening up there, the valley of Palccoyo is much milder, much smoother. It's a beautifully, it's not paved, but it's like a gravel road. So you take it easy, you can stop along the way, and there is way less people, way less chaos on this site. So we highly suggest it. I really enjoyed it. I have some fantastic photos from this region. And we arrange your breakfast, we arrange your lunch. It's quite an early day because it's a 3-hour ride to Palccoyo, but it's definitely worth it. It's going to be completely different than everything else you've seen in Peru so far. And then you come back to Cusco probably by 4 or 5 p.m. and you can enjoy resting in the evening. Now, day 9, we are ready to leave Peru behind and we're heading to Buenos Aires. There are a few flights. There's a flight that goes Cusco, Lima, Buenos Aires, or there's an international flight leaving from Cusco to Santiago and then flying over to Buenos Aires. So I will find the best route for you. All the flights are included. And once you arrive in Argentina, then my team in Buenos Aires will pick you up and take you to your hotel. And we've arranged a welcome dinner for you tonight at Fogon. Fogon is a closed door, kind of by reservation only experience where you sit at a bar while at the bar of the restaurant while the chef is cooking behind, and you have like, I don't know, 7-course meal, wonderful tasting. You get to do some of the sauces. It's really fun, really casual atmosphere, and a great welcome to Argentina because you will taste all of those flavors that will now follow you throughout the next week. And the hotel that we chose is the Carles. This is a boutique hotel right in the middle of town. You walk outside, you can go to Florida Street, you can walk around to the Pink Castle. Everything is very close to this hotel, really well located, great reviews. Our clients love it when they're looking for that 4-star boutique style property. Now, for the next 2 days, we're going to split the city into 2, the north side and the south side, and tackle them with our private guides. We never want to see the whole city in one day because the traffic in Buenos Aires is tremendous. So on day 10, we're going to focus on the north city. So the Recoleta Cemetery, Palermo, all those beautiful, older, wealthy neighborhoods. That is what we're going to see today, the historical parts of Buenos Aires. So we're going to tackle that. It's great. You're going to have your own car, but you're going to get out and walk around. You're going to have a beautiful lunch in a bodegon, which is a traditional restaurant, usually like an old home that's been redone into a restaurant. So like the chairs don't match and there's family photos on the wall. It's a great atmosphere. So that is our first day. And of course, afternoon is free. Explore, go shopping. There's great leather in Buenos Aires. So there's lots to see and do. Great walking city as well. And then the following day, we're going to focus on the south side of the city. And the south side of the city is Boca. It's those colorful tango filled streets. This is where the markets take place. This is where we're going to go inside an indoor market and do some beer tasting. So really wonderful part on the river of the city. So great colorful day. And then that night, because we have been in the tango atmosphere all day, we're going to take you to a dinner tango show. And Angelitos is somewhere where I take all of my groups. It's a very intimate place, really beautiful show, tap dancers. And if you're interested, if we arrive an hour earlier, we can actually include a tango lesson with the dancers that will later on be on stage. And that's a lot of fun. And once we're done with Buenos Aires, we're going to fly to Patagonia, or northern Patagonia, to the town of Bariloche. So I mentioned it a little bit. This is a land of lakes and mountains. This is a lot of influence from Europeans like Germans and Swiss. So you will see chocolate factories and cheese shops and, Saint Bernard dogs walking around the town. It's a really great, charming city. So we're going to take a flight. It's nonstop, about 2 hours to Bariloche. We're going to pick you up and take you to your hotel. But en route, we're going to do a little mate tasting, which is a traditional Argentinian ceremony, and we're going to do a soft hike. And the reason I say hike is because we just want you to have beautiful views. We want you to go to the car stays with you the whole time, but you can hike to a beautiful overlook. So you kind of get the idea of where you are on that first day. And the hotel is the Design Suites. Design Suites is a great hotel in Bariloche. Really feels like kind of a lodge in the mountains. Great location. You're about 10 minutes from the center of town. So it's a place to unwind and focus on views and great food. It's a 4-star property. And the following day, we're going to show you the best of Bariloche. So, all the overlooks, lakes and mountains, and also take a cable car ride to the top of Cerro Otto. So there's lots to see and do here. Great walking city. We're going to do some tastings around downtown Bariloche and just kind of get you to know, get familiar with the town itself. It's really great. And tonight, let me know how you feel about this. I included it, but if you're not interested, let me know. We did a Bariloche by night. It's an astrological or an astronomical tour where we take you with our telescopes and you can watch the sky with a private guide. It's great. We do this a lot for families or for small groups because the skies in Patagonia are just amazing. In general, skies in South America are amazing, but you can see the Milky Way if we get far enough from the city lights. So it's a great little adventure, completely different than anything else you have done. And to see, just be outside at night is just so special. Our last day in Bariloche, I included a boat tour so that not only will you see the city, from the car, from the hike, from the cable car, now you're going to see it from a boat. So we're going to go to Victoria Island. This is great for soft walking, wonderful forests, wonderful views. This is all about just getting deeper into those mountains and lakes for the day. Everything is arranged. This is a shared boat. So it's kind of like a ferry boat. So there'll be other travelers, other tourists on board, but the transportation to and from the port will be included. And of course, on board, they speak English as well. There's a guide and so on. So everything is kind of prearranged for you, and you will have lunch out there as well. And then our last destination, day 15. I'm sorry, I'm running through this itinerary fast. I just want you to know how everything works. We're going to fly from Bariloche to Iguazu. That flight stops in Buenos Aires. So I call this a travel day. So you're going to leave Bariloche after breakfast, fly to Buenos Aires, change planes, and arrive in Iguazu in the afternoon. We're going to take you to the hotel at the Mercure. This is a 5-star property. Again, this is one of those properties I've worked with many times. I bring some of my groups here. They take such great care of us, and we always have good rates. So I actually consider the rates here almost 4-star because we work with them so much that they take care of us and our clients. And so the reason I like this property is because it is 10 minutes away from the park. It is right in the jungle. So you will have like tropical birds in the trees and iguanas, and it's very like lush and green. The pool is one of the best in Iguazu Falls, and it's just a great atmosphere. So you have the best of both worlds. You're near the waterfalls, but you're also in the jungle, and you can unwind. You can kind of defrost after all the hiking in the Andes and being in Patagonia. And now on January 26th, we're going to do a focus of all the Argentina side of the falls. So the falls are on the border between Argentina and Brazil. And so we split the tour one day focusing on Argentina, which is a full day tour, which is catwalks, which is going under the waterfalls in a boat, which is going to Devil's Throat. There's a lot to see and do because the park is huge. So we will do that. We'll have lunch in the park. And that evening, we're going to do a little Argentine experience, which is just a kind of a hands-on dinner. You kind of participate making some empanadas, tasting some beer or some wine. And then there's a Argentinian steak at the end. Of course, you don't have to cook the steak. The chefs take care of that. But it's a fun atmosphere. It's right in the village of Iguazu Falls. So everyone that goes really enjoys it. So let me know if you want that. The following day, and our last day in South America, I've included nothing. Why did I do that? Because I want you to be able to sleep in, go to the pool, go to the spa, enjoy. And I actually put the dinner that evening. But all day you have just relaxation day because you have been up every day for the last 16 days. You have been at Iguazu Falls all day the day before. So let me know if you have that time to include this extra day, do it because you will come home rested. And your day 18 is your last day. We're going to fly from Iguazu Falls to Buenos Aires and back home. Now, the flight usually is in the evening. So what I do is I actually take you to the Brazil side of the falls first. It allows for a panoramic view of all the falls at once. So you have your last tour that morning and then fly to Buenos Aires and Iguazu Falls. So that is it, 18 days between Peru and Argentina. So many highlights. Let me know what your thoughts are, how I can help you tweak it to make sure it feels like your trip. But I'm here to help, and happy travels.